She said, you know, I really would like to talk, and then I'd love to have some people who I've worked with or whose views are important to me comment on what I have to say. So that is, in fact, our program for tonight. And so, Maura, can I put this back up over here?
Great, thank you. And thank you so much, Chuck. The first thing I want to do is just to thank Bergen Grassroots for all that you do. It's not easy. It's not easy coming out to any meeting, let alone a freeholder meeting in Hackensack on a Wednesday afternoon and a Wednesday evening. But sometimes that's what it takes to make the connection. So please, thank you first for all you do. I want to say that this is a very humbling experience to me. It's humbling because good government doesn't happen alone. Good government is a team sport. It has to happen across our board, across our counties, across our municipalities. It has to happen across the aisle. It's something that Loretta and I say very often, that in working toward the goal of good government, what unites us far exceeds what divides us. That's the foundation of everything that we do. And certainly that's what we strive for. So I am so honored tonight to receive the award, to be here with so many colleagues who I know are such an important part of this effort that I know will continue. And I hope to be a part of that continuing in some capacity. I do want to say also that it really is a privilege to join the previous winners, Paul Eisenman, Matthew Boxer, Loretta Weinberg, Judge Peter Doyne. In fact, at freeholder meetings, I still can hear Paul Eisenman's voice. And his advice was always very simple: just do the right thing. And that's what he would repeat over and over again. So Nike has nothing on him when it comes to message, save for a multi-million-dollar ad campaign, which we probably could use better for good government. And I did receive an email earlier in the week from Judy Zander, Paul's daughter. It was very touching. Paul meant a great deal to me, and he was there even as I championed pay to play on the municipal level as a mayor, and then when we began the discussion at the county, he was right there at every meeting, and he was such an important cheerleader to all of us in making the right thing happen. When Chuck did call me to say I had been chosen, when we did talk about the program this evening, it was great to say, let's make this a productive event. Let's talk about what's continuing to happen at the county and get some of the good people involved who are a part of those issues. And it wasn't easy to choose those issues because there is so much that happens in the county and in your municipalities as well. So I gave it a lot of thought, and we were talking about taxation and transportation, flooding, education, jobs, aging infrastructure across the county, some of the environmental issues, and finally we decided on 2 or 3. I think we have 4 that we're going to try to cover this evening, but I do think that it gives us a positive framework to move forward from here. And I do want to thank all of the panelists who came out this evening. I know it's a tough week. We have Christmas on Sunday. A lot of municipalities have moved their meetings to tonight or tomorrow night. There are so many other events that we're competing with, so it really is great to see you all here. And I do, before I begin, want to say something special about Senator Byron Baer. I know a lot was said. and I heard Linda's words last year too. I have the unique pleasure of working with his daughter every day at the county, and it's really means a lot to see you here, Laura, this evening. So, and you didn't let me know while we were in the office all day that you were coming, but it means a lot to have you here. Transparency does begin at our meetings, but we know that it branches out from there. It is important when it comes to the Open Public Meetings Act and the Open Public Records Act, but that transparency also grows through greater relationships with our constituencies so that we can prioritize what the important issues are. And it does come with education for citizens as well. The greatest programs, the best solutions don't mean anything if you don't know they are there and you don't take the opportunity to use them. So this evening, I want to begin quickly with the first topic, which Chuck had mentioned briefly, has something that we've begun to discuss again, and really is an overlay for everything else that we'll talk about this evening, and that's to plant the seed once again of changing the way county government is organized at the Freeholder Board. Bergen County is the largest county in the state of New Jersey. We represent just under 1 million people, and we cover 70 municipalities. That's a lot. And that means that we not only go to these towns, we also try to develop over time relationships with governing bodies, get to understand issues that cross regions and municipal boundaries, and really have an understanding for what's happening in a very diverse county. If we were to re-examine having freeholders elected, or at least a large portion of the freeholder board elected by district or ward, there could be a greater connection to local municipalities and certainly to their citizens. And I say that as a freeholder for 6 years, out campaigning, shaking hands, and still getting the question for the first time, what's a freeholder? And explaining once again what county government is and what it does. So not only would it help in terms of having diversity and representation across the county on the Freeholder Board, it also would help with the other dynamic issues that we're going to talk about in terms of having more specific, detailed solutions for those issues across the county. Because not every municipality, not every region is the same. And in the back of the room, among some of the materials that I brought this evening, there's a little family tree for Bergen County. It's kind of a roadmap for how we ended up where we are now with 70 municipalities across this county, outside of the large epidemic of boroitis, which took place in the first half of the 20th century. So I'd like you to start thinking about whether or not that is an issue that we should champion going forward in evaluating how you're represented at the county level and seeing if a change should be made going forward. The second thing that I wanted to talk about tonight were our seniors. Over the last few years, I've gotten very involved with the Senior Coalition in Bergen County. We meet once a month, and right now the Senior Coalition is limited to nonprofit organizations and government agencies. But that may change in the future because it is such an important meeting, and the information that is exchanged during those meetings is absolutely vital to all of us. The coalition's goal is so that our seniors can age in place in Bergen County. A Herculean goal, given the costs in the county and the understanding of what it takes to remain connected for the services and the needs that our seniors have. And when I was thinking over the weekend about how to begin talking about seniors, I thought of my niece, who just last week had a baby boy. And of course, he's the cutest, sweetest baby boy. But it really presented the dichotomy of life to me. When we have our children, we search for the best. We have baby showers. We talk about what stroller works so well, the latest invention in the sippy cup, what schools we want to send our children to, what extracurricular activities are out there, the latest and the greatest. When it comes to aging, very often we react. We don't prepare. And it's something that happens to all of us, and I say that all of us as someone who just turned 60, and also all of us as families. We don't share what the best walker is, or different things that we use at home to help our parents. We very often find ourselves in a situation where we're suddenly reacting to needing a particular kind of care, or a situation changing suddenly. And so getting the information out there that we need, and we do provide a lot of services at the county, as I know my colleague, Freeholder Sullivan, will tell you. Our Office on Aging is the oldest, not in New Jersey, in the country. We are celebrating 50 years, and with that, we have a lot of experience behind us and a tremendous number of programs, and there's information about them in the back as well. And I know there are a number of municipalities that are addressing critical issues in regard to our seniors: housing, transportation. Mayor Berkner and I participated in a Seniors for Seniors training session, and I see the former mayor of Dumont in the back, Doug Wynand. He facilitated that, and the idea is to get seniors to be advocates for each other, but also to give them the tools that they need so that they can do that. The information, and this goes to the organization of government as well, because there are so many differences across municipalities. Where do you go, not only in your town, but at what level of government when you are seeking something specific or some particular information that you need? And the other side of it too, as we're looking at issues of quality of life, is protecting our seniors. And that's why it's so great to have the prosecutor's office here as well. Protecting them from elder abuse, which is another epidemic that we are facing in our nation, let alone our county. And that is something that we have to be aware of as well. The second issue that I wanted to talk about is something that Freeholder Sullivan brought up as well, that we have been putting a tremendous amount of time and effort into, and that is heroin and opiate addiction. When we talk about a crisis of public health, that is number one. And the numbers that you're going to hear tonight are absolutely astounding. And it is in every single municipality, in every single neighborhood in this county. It touches everyone. And there are many reasons why it's happening as well. So while we are focusing on a lot of aspects of addiction, whether it be prevention, and that prevention also overlaps with other initiatives that we're doing across the county: stigma-free, mental health. Why are young people turning to drugs in droves? What is preventing them from feeling good about themselves without altering their state of mind? We also have to talk about mental illness and depression, and feelings of lack of self-worth. So that's a dovetail issue as well. And treatment. And in Bergen County, we too have an Office of Addiction Services that does provide a number of avenues of treatment. And one thing that I know that I'm sure our elected officials here get calls all the time as well from families is what to do and where do I go. Their child or someone in their family gets picked up. Everybody knows how to hire an attorney. But what do you do for the real problem? Especially when you know that your child is home in their bedroom still using. And there are treatment avenues that we have. And this is connected to the 4th largest public hospital in the nation that we are trying to find the proper plan for, Bergen Regional as well. So it is about prevention, it is about treatment, and it is about outside of the box thinking and connecting even law enforcement to a solution for these issues, because they will never arrest us out of the problem. So that is the third issue, I'll say, heroin and opiate addiction. And the fourth and final, and I'm sorry that Senator Weinberg isn't here, well, at least not yet. I'll hope that she's coming too, is Bergen Regional Medical Center. Many of you know that this is probably the largest and most immediate issue that the county faces. Bergen Regional is owned by the county. The Bergen County Improvement Authority holds the hospital license, and it is leased to a third party and operated by that third party. And that lease is coming to an end in March of 2017. So right now it is so critically important to put together the right plan for the future, because we know we have suffered through many, many issues for the county, for the patients, for the employees, and we need to make it better over there. It is a critical part of our infrastructure for health care in Bergen County, not only for the medical ambulatory care and for the long-term care, but also for the behavioral health care, which includes detox and rehabilitation. So Bergen Regional is also what we had hoped to address this evening. And I know that you're going to hear a lot of information from the participants on the panel. I know there's a lot of work for all of us to do. As I said, it is a team sport, but you're the owners of the team. So you've got to make the trades, you've got to get the right people in place, and I know that this is an organization that has always worked so hard to get that done. So I want to say to you, Chuck, as president, to all of the members of Bergen Grassroots, to all of my colleagues here this evening, once again, thank you for all you do. I truly receive this on behalf of you. We do it together, and we're going to continue to do it together. Thank you.